thing, what you try to do, you find, okay, what are they going to do, where are they going to go? But a lot of times, Robbie, you just don't know what they're thinking and where they're going to go and what kind of state of mind they're in. And that's one of the problems. Now, you said she's on the 241 South through Orange County, because that could take her all. She could go to the 5, or she could just head all the way down towards San Diego. So, again, as I said, the California Highway Patrol, they will follow her the whole way.
I'm not that familiar with the roadways, the smaller roadways in Southern California, but I assume that pretty soon here, as the hour gets later, she's got to run into some traffic here. This is going to be the morning rush, and she's in a highly populated area.
Yeah, and this is apparently a toll road also. So, that's a good thing for police. She looks like she's getting off somewhere here. Couldn't see what the sign.
I thought it said Santa, maybe Monica. I'm not sure. Santa something.
Yes, that could be Santa. And I'm trying to pull up my map here.
Yeah.
But
okay, here she goes again. So, Mike, the question is she playing cat and mouse again? She's driving into the green area. She's driving into the median of the road. Now she's back up on the sandy area. Don't tell me that she is going to turn around. She is turned around, done a U-turn, and is driving toward the cops. She drove through them and will be going into oncoming traffic. It is clear she's not thinking clearly, I would think, here in the viewer's state of mind. And what does she plan to do? What is the problem here? Now she's done another U-turn. Now she's going. Yeah, this is a real game of cat and mouse, it seems like. So now she is going back the way, the flow of traffic, gone over the median. Now she's going to go with the flow of traffic. No, I'm done trying to predict what this woman is doing. This is like watching the Dukes of Hazzard, is it not?
I tell you, Robin, I know the police could try to get her in a position possibly to try to spin her out and then box her in, but it's very difficult to perform a pit maneuver on that dry road.
Here she's doing it again. Big circle in the middle of the median. What would be the point of doing that? And then turning around and getting right back into where the CHP is chasing her. Now pulling over the side. Go ahead, Monica.
When we're looking at the map here, and it's hard to tell from these shots exactly where they are on southbound 241. Now we see the car coming to a stop. It looks like this female driver, she's getting out. The car is still rolling. Okay, she's still
Here it is. Here it is, the big bump.
Yep,
Peter, you were talking about that earlier.
Okay, and you can see she's angrily waving her arm out the window, and here comes the maneuver that Peter was explaining earlier.
So let's explain. They disable the vehicles. You have seen here where it knocks it out, and while it didn't work completely there, the vehicle is still continuing to drive. That is the effort, is to disable that vehicle by knocking in the back and essentially forcing it to stop. Now, as you can see, this woman is gesturing out her window at the CHP behind her. They're keeping a safe distance, and it appears now the speeds have picked up a little bit compared to where they were only a short time ago. What you witnessed was that woman getting out of the car, trying to gesture at the officers. It looked like she was saying, stay back off us. It appeared that she hadn't put her own car in park because it started rolling away.
Yeah.
She dove back into it. There was one positive to this situation right now. When she was doing those circles, those just spinning around, basically, it enabled police to catch up to her, to try to organize exactly where she could be going and where they would be going, and hopefully to keep other vehicles off that road. It gave them a little buffer. As you can see right now, the picture shows exclusively the driver in the front and the CHP behind her. Only a short time ago, we had seen other vehicles on that road, and that was one of their primary concerns, is that it would threaten other people's safety there as well. But again, now, I think it's approaching more than 20 minutes that we've been keeping an eye on this in some form or another. She is still eluding police with her hazard lights on. She just put them back off. Now they're back on again. And it's frankly unclear to us and probably to the officers, and it may even be to this person herself, what she's trying to accomplish right now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so to recap once again, this is happening in Southern California, in Orange County, on 241, which is a toll road. The thing is, we haven't seen a lot of traffic here because, number one, it's still relatively early in the morning, 6:45 there, local time. Two, this is a toll road, expressway. This driver has a lot of options. So if there are roads that are more crowded at this time of the day, she could avoid them because there are a lot of options here other than this particular road. You can see now, there's a car off on the right pulled over. It may be that there's an officer in front of this chase actually clearing cars off to the side because we're not seeing any other vehicles. And now here she goes again, off the side on the shoulder.
And you can see another car coming in and catching up, waiting there on the on-ramp.
You're not going to outrun the police. You're not going to outrun the helicopter. You put a lot of lives in danger, both civilians and law enforcement. You know, so because just was a year before last, we had a California Highway Patrol officer who was killed in line of duty by putting out some spike strips. So this is dangerous for both the civilians and law enforcement involved, Robin.
Yeah, and I'm amazed that at this point, maybe it's because she's running in a direction that would be opposite of a city, but I'm amazed that she has not run into more traffic. I wonder if the CHP is working ahead and trying to clear out these areas that she appears to be headed. But that would be kind of tough with this maze of exits and cities.
It would, Robin, but see, apparently if she's still on the 241 South, I believe that's a toll road. So that was one of the reasons they were saying, you know, during the break we were talking, and they were saying it
versus getting shot on duty.
What's the mentality of a person who's making a run like this, Mark? What have you found in your own experience?
Well, it's kind of interesting when it's all over and
It's a constant assessment. The officer, Bob Organ, of the Los Angeles Police Department, their instructor told me at the time, when the danger becomes too great to the public or to the officer, you've got to call it off, and that's when ultimately they use this PIT maneuver, the pursuit intervention technique that we witnessed a short time ago.
And Peter, let me bring in right now former FBI agent and now an MSNBC analyst, Clinton Van Zandt. Clinton, you have handled a lot of crisis situations. Right now, I want to ask you, and especially because of your history as an FBI profiler, if you've got a woman behind a speeding car, she's just pulled her car into the median, done a series of big circles, driven into oncoming traffic, which in this case was the CHP officers, and now she keeps going. Is there anything you can tell us about a profile of a person who's in that erratic frame of mind?
Well, it's interesting. She's running her flasher, so, you know, she's trying to warn people. She's being erratic, and yet she's warning them. One of the things that you may find CHP trying to do is, if they've got her license plate, they'll run, find out who she is, see if she's got a cell phone, and perhaps ask the dispatcher or somebody at CHP headquarters to call her on the phone. You know, get her on the phone and say, lady, what are you doing? Slow the car down, let's stop, let's talk. So they'll be doing a lot of criminal history on her right now, trying to find out if the car's been used in a criminal offense, if there's drugs, if there is a robbery that's taken place, what is going on, so the officers have an idea of what they're dealing with. As Peter was suggesting, they're going to be very careful about trying to run her off the road or do anything else, because they don't want to force an accident where she could be injured or somebody else can be injured. You know, it's like the old song, nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. Well, as long as they've got a CHP car behind her, probably in front of her, and a helicopter on top of her, all she can do is sit there and watch that needle on that gas gauge slowly decline till she runs out. In CHP, like so many other situations, if they just keep, if they don't get too close, don't try to push her too hard, they can eventually just run her to the ground and run her out of gas.
And now you can see that she's getting back into an area where there are neighborhoods just off of this.
People are listening to the radio. I mean, she could be listening to us right now with the advent of satellite radio. And, you know, and I always say, look, you're going to put people in more danger if you continue to chase. Just pull over and take the consequences right now. All she has is basically eluding, and unless you try to hit a cop, then she's got some charges to face.
Yeah, so that's good. Good advice on your part, that it's only going to get worse the longer you go here, so you may as well bring this chase to an end. So I did confirm with the producers. Apparently she's accused of trying to hit a Long Beach police officer with her car, so running into his car, and then when they tried to pull her over, she did not. She kept going. So it really makes me wonder about her state of mind. She was obviously already irate at the start of this if she tried to harm or hit a police officer. Now, earlier, she darn near stopped that car, got out, made gestures at the police officer. That's on your right side. The car kept rolling, and she realizes it and jumps back in. So, got what she wanted done. Okay, what did you just see on the left side of your screen there?
No, it looked like she was going to go pull off again, and then she cut right back across, back onto the highway, and almost hit a sign right there on the exit sign.
A couple of times she's come that close to these exit signs, but made it out scot-free, basically. Now, it makes you wonder, how is this chase going to end? Because she continues a high rate of speed. I think she's lucky in that she does not run into traffic. You said this is a toll road, but that can't last for very long. We will take a break and be right back with the resumption of this live.
Day of the week. They can shut it down. They can also shut down lights. In other words, you're pursuing somebody. Yeah, you can just radio that I want this light frozen, all red, which freezes traffic, and that creates a natural obstacle. But the natural obstacle are human beings and vehicles. So this is a situation that I hated. I hated pursuits because it's just not going to go well.
Yeah, and here she is slowing down again, as it appears on, here we go, you can see it. What are we seeing, Clint? What's live? Left?
Yeah, live is left,
okay,
right is tape
and right is there tape from earlier when she got out.
Take the live picture full for a moment so we can show our viewers here, because she's making a decision now, Mark, that she has done before. We don't know if something like this will end this, but she is near the town of, just to get it right here, it is Rancho Santa Margarita. Gabe Montoya is on the phone from the LAPD. Gabe, you there? Good morning to you.
Hey.
You're from Orange County Highway Patrol, Media Information Officer. What can you tell us about this driver?
The driver, we at Orange County got the call from an allied agency at 618 that they were in pursuit and requesting us to take over pursuit from them.
It started as a domestic altercation?
That's correct.
Gabe, are you able to see our screen?
I can see one of our photos.
Okay, we just saw another bump, and now they have cornered her, and they've done it severely. Life in the fast lane in Southern California has now come to a slow and grinding halt. We'll see what happens when the officers approach the window on the driver's side and take this woman out. In all likelihood, they will get her out of the car, get her down on her face with their arms and legs spread, and then they will cuff her, and this thing will be over. She's got the windows up, the officer on the far side beating through that window, trying to make sure that she does not have a weapon that can be used against the police officers.
And a very aggressive takedown here, Bill. Normally you see them come up and sort of pull their guns and surround the car, and it's a little bit more of a standoff than this. Whoa! You can see she is fighting back against these police officers and Hal. Let's watch it.
Mark, you still with us? Gabe, you out there too?
Yes, I am.
Gabe, can you tell us how this started?
Again, it was initially another agency had a domestic violence situation where the party attempted an assault on a peace officer using the vehicle.
How long did the chase last? We picked it up about, I'd say 20 minutes past the hour.
Yeah, that's about the time it came into Orange County. How long the other agency was chasing her, I don't know for certain. But we in Orange County have had it since about quarter after.
Have you been able to identify the woman?
As of yet, we don't have an positive identification.
So you don't have a history of her record at the moment either, then, do you, Gabe?
No.
I'm sorry, Gabe. You said this started as a domestic violence incident, and she attempted to assault a peace officer?
That is our understanding, that the want was due to attempted assault with a vehicle.
Was she attempting to assault her domestic partner, and then the police got there?
That is my understanding, that it was a domestic violence call. The agency responded. There was the altercation with the female suspect regarding her in the vehicle, and then the pursuit ensued.
So she got into her car, tried to make a run for it, and attempted to or did injure a peace officer in the process?
Well, I don't have a report that there was an injury. However, she may have, again, used the vehicle in an attempt to injure a peace officer.
And Gabe, just looking at our screen right now, we saw the long hair earlier, and we had heard reports this may be a woman. Upon a closer look, just from this vantage point, it didn't look like a woman. Do we know for a fact this is a woman?
Currently, we know that the party's in custody. It has been reported as a woman. As far as I know, still currently it is a female. However, I don't have confirmation.
Well, it is over now, whether it's a man or a woman, and all these police officers are going to be okay too. As Mark Furman was describing to us just minutes ago, it's how many funerals he's attended from police officers who have died in high-speed chases, and this is how it ended. circling back around the intersection. Bam, one time. The car moves again, and now they've got this car surrounded.
It took about 40 minutes, but what a picture-perfect ending for the California Highway Patrol. As Trace Gallagher said, they are the best in the world at this. This is one of the few states where you can still do this, and you can see these are trained professionals from beginning to end. They had to protect the public. They had to protect those people on the road while trying to take this woman down. There are a lot of things to consider. The weather, the traffic, the severity of the underlying crime. They've done it many times. They did it to perfection here, and they now have this suspect in custody.
Hats off to the police officers. On a Good Friday, it ended for them quite well. Back in a moment, top of the hour on a Friday edition of America's Newsroom. After this.
A car chase it was in Southern California, Orange County, California. This just ended about 3 minutes ago as a woman was driving a Scion through the streets and freeways of Southern California, just nabbed a female driver who took them on a bizarre high-speed chase throughout different freeways, exits, coming back on, taunting police, it seemed, in certain parts.
The freeway, and she got bumped by these CHP cars, and as you can see, they quickly surround her, and then the officers just stream out. They grab the driver from behind the wheel, put her in handcuffs, put her on the ground, and take her into custody. Let me bring in former FBI profiler Clint Van Zandt, and now an MSNBC analyst. Clint, this is the way we typically see these chases ending, that there's a decision made by a driver that allows police that moment of opportunity to surround them. But why? Why do people run?